inspiration.
It's almost as if you're sort of freezing time.
What do you mean you want to interview me?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
A friend of mine said this the other day. When I think about when I started, I just, I literally felt liberated, like this weight had come off my shoulder when I knew I could make a living from it. I was like, God, is this for real? Like, can I actually do this? And I still remember that. It was like walking through a door. I never went back.
That day will be so sweet, I'm shaking you up.
This is unbelievable. You can get paid to do something that, you know, you genuinely enjoy, but it just felt like it was a long road as well.
Yes. I think it's hard for people to always comprehend why musicians do it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we'll forever get told, you know, one day you'll make it.
Yeah. When am I going to see you on top of the pops?
Yes, don't worry.
If I had a crystal ball, I'd read a little for you.
Can't have an ego in this game.
Tell you all I see, hope you easy feelings for me.
Because you're always going to be brought back down.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
With the next thing that comes along.
It's not magical, it's how it goes, yeah.
I think we're super lucky. A friend of mine said this the other day, and she's in Oz, and I'm starting this little podcast, and I asked her, I'd really like you to be on it, you know, because she got Parkinson's at 28 and raised 2 girls on her own, and just, to me, she's an inspiration because she's just gotten on with life, but she's very creative, so everything she does is laced with creativity. Her daughters, they've got creative talent, you know, whether it's music or art or fashion. She was saying to me, what do you mean you want to interview me? I want to interview you. Like, you know, how you're getting creative in this time where, you know, nobody can even find the joy in life. And I just said to her, the fact that we have creativity and we can channel it in some way, to me, that's a win-win. I met this singer once, and we were so different worlds. Like, we met for just, I don't know, market research gig in a daytime or something we had to do, and she had a big dance hit. So she was doing all the, you go to Miami and different places, but she just sings one song. And she said to me that that's her stamina, 20 minutes, and she's done. And I was thinking, God, mine is like 2 hours. Like, our worlds are so different, you know. She gives everything in 20 minutes, but there's no more she can give after that, and then she needs a day to rest. And I thought, okay, different game.
So why did you go to Cuba?
So Cuba, it was funny because I hadn't planned to. I remember, like I said, the first band I was in, it was Latin jazz, so I was working in salsa clubs, so I was exposed to the most incredible music every night of the week. There was Cuban, Colombian, Brazilian, Mexican, like all sorts. And that's where I met Michael. And that naturally led me to Brazil. Soon after. So I'd experienced that culture before I even got to Brazil, and then spent probably a good couple months there. But Cuba never was on my radar. And then the beginning of the year, a friend of mine just said, oh, look, I've planned this for 3 years. I wanted to go. And she had planned to go to a Havana music school. And I was like, I got some free time. And I literally booked maybe a week before. Brilliant. I booked in to do percussion school. She did bass. So every day we had school, and every night we went out and checked out gigs. The music side and the learning side, I mean, their musicianship was incredible. Yeah. So we ended up learning from, you know, young teachers that are all orchestral. So we went and saw these incredible gigs in these rundown buildings. And in the future, I'd love to be able to even get our guys to go over there and bring some of them over here and do masterclasses and just kind of, you know, bring our 2 worlds together, because a lot of them as well don't have passports, so they've never even travelled.
The West can be really guilty of thinking their culture
it's the be-all and end-all, or it needs to be boxed as well. What kind of, you know, music is yours, or what? And it's just that ever-moving flow of creating along the way.
When I was starting up, I was really into musical history and how it moved because of social constraints and various things. And because things became like time capsules, the music actually became stronger because of that.
Yeah.
And then when it finally burst out, it's like the different rules they had for instruments, like slaves in New Orleans weren't allowed to play congas.
Right, okay.
So they took up instruments from France. They were allowed to play percussion in Cuba. And in other places, you end up, the steel drum thing came out of that because they were thinking, oh, people are talking to each other with drums and all that.
Yeah,
but all those restrictions, you never stop music. In fact, they did the reverse.
Exactly.
It made that culture grow this way.
More innovative, more creative. And the Russian influence with Cuba, with the classical, you know.
Yeah.
So it's fascinating.
Thank you very much.
The thing I loved about Cuba was that because it was so far removed from this gigging world, you know, where, like you were saying earlier about having, you know, an angle or somebody, you know, you need to get a gig for this, or there's always an agenda in, you know, just survival of, you know, being in creative world. And it was so pure there. Like nobody cared who you played with before. Nobody cared what, you know, school you went to or, you know, what training you had, or like it was more about what joy do you feel right now and how do you feel about playing, and let's just do it. Sunday gigs back in the day, you know, in Kilburn, like I shat myself on those gigs because I never wanted to be in the front of that. I just came down and sung a song as a guest, like as someone hanging out and having a drink. I didn't know where to look. And funnily enough, first time I came out of music college, the same thing happened. I fell into this kind of 10-piece band and I was petrified because there was so much going on and we were all fresh out of college, just like doing what we know what to do. I'm just going to sing my song. They're just going to read their part. That, you know, in terms of those Sunday gigs, they were school for me. They were great, you know. I used to not look forward to how I felt on the gig, but I always benefited, you know, week in, week out from what I took away from the gig. Learning to get comfortable in the space of the music and the silences, allowing people to do their part in probably what was about 11 people at any one time on stage. In the practical sense, for me anyway, nothing's compared.